Greetings, my dear brothers and sisters. I have a word just for you. I know some of you have been delayed. Some of you have been frustrated to one extent that you feel like giving up. You feel that you can no longer move any further. But I want to encourage you that God will give you strength. Even when you feel weak, God will enable you maneuver through these dark times. My brothers and sisters, all that I want you to do is to pray. Watch and pray. The word is your prayers are working, so don't you stop. This is today's word. Your prayers are working. Don't be fooled by the enemy that your prayers are not working. Some of your circumstances may make you think your prayers are not working. Situations may make you believe a lie. Just because that application that you sent has delayed, it does not mean things are not working. It doesn't mean that God is not working on your case. Some of you, God has already settled your situation. It is done. It is finished. It is sealed. And all you have to do is to believe in God, to have faith in God. I love the scripture that says that faith pleases God. Without faith, it is impossible to please God. Without faith, it is impossible. And Jesus said to his disciples that he shall say to this mountain, be thou moved and cast into the sea, and it shall be so. What mountain do you have in your life? Is it a toxic relationship? Is it a colleague that has always been accusing you? Is it a court case? Is it an illness? Are you believing in a miracle for someone, or you're believing in a miracle for yourself? Whatever mountain that you have, say to that mountain, be thou moved and cast into the sea. Your prayers are working, my brothers and sisters. That's why you see I encourage people to keep on praying. Someone who discourages you from praying, stay away from them. Someone who feels you, someone who makes you feel and you have no ability to pray, stay away from that person. Stay away from people that are always draining your energy. Be in a place where people encourage prayer and fasting. Not only prayer and fasting. I'll have to give you an example. When the disciples of Jesus were casting out a demon and they could not, they called out to Jesus. And of course, when Jesus cast it out, he told his disciples that this kind can only go by prayer and fasting. Not only prayer. There is a kind that can only go by prayer and fasting. Only prayer and fasting can solve it. So some of you have been praying. That is good. Powerful. But your situation could be different. Maybe you prayed over the other situation and it worked. God gave you a miracle. But have you tried fasting? Have you really gotten into fasting? Daniel fasted. Some people call it the Daniel fast. He fasted. There are some things that you need to fast over. It may not just be food. It may be a video game. It may be a TV program. It may be something. It may even be people. Fasting is so huge. So my brothers and sisters, God will tell you exactly what to fast over. Your situation could be different from someone else. But remember, it's the same enemy. My brothers and sisters, your prayers are working. They are working. I love the scripture that says that the sons of Issachar understood the times and knew what Israel ought to do. Right now, you need to understand the times. What seasons are you living in? Do you know exactly what you're supposed to do? Do you know exactly what you ought to say? Because not every word in the presence of the king, be very careful what you say. when you're presented with the king. Because the king's word is law. So be very careful what you speak. Some of you could be in the midst of diabolic kings. Of course, there's a king that is above all kings, that is Jesus Christ of Nazareth. But there are kings of this world that have taken you captive. And what you have to do is to pray to break the rule of that king or the reign of that king over your life. You must pray and allow Jesus to reign in your life. This word is for someone. I'll give you an example of Hannah. Hannah was a prayer warrior, a woman of prayer. That is an example I can give you. You know, Hannah was living in a house with Peninnah. Of course, Hannah had her womb was closed, while Peninnah was enjoying life. She had children. But notice, Peninnah could mock Hannah. But Hannah, there's nowhere in the scripture that is written where Hannah goes back and starts fighting Peninnah and starts speaking words against Peninnah. Hannah kept quiet. She walked to the temple and started praying. Hannah knew a secret to defeating her enemies. Hannah knew the secret. She knew the keys to defeating her physical enemies. It was through prayer. When people speak against you at your work, in the court cases, go to your prayer closet. Close yourself and pray. Pray in the spirit. Hannah prayed to an extent that even the priest thought that Hannah was drunk, but she wasn't. Long story short, Hannah received a miracle. She got a miracle. And she was able to give birth to a son that actually anointed kings. And the scripture says, for Samuel, none of his words fell to the ground. My brothers and sisters, keep praying. That is the word I have for you. Until next time, shalom.